Whiskey Tango Oscar Bravo. So, outside the bunker review, kit review. I've been asked to do this by a few people, and they're looking at different types of shears. So, as a paramedic, I've used shears all over the place. Really, I use them in the operating theatre. You quite often see techs with shears because they're just really good things to have. But obviously, as a paramedic, then shears are they're a bit of a status symbol, to tell you the truth, which is a bit wank, but hey ho, it's what happens. So these days you've really got loads of options. I will go through two, which is your basic shears that you can get for about $3 or $5 on eBay, and they are really cheap and nasty. Or we're going to do the Leatherman Raptor. This is the Mark 1. I've had this for quite a long time now. It's seen a lot of service. It's really good. We'll go through the basic EMT shears, they're called. They're just press engineered, press stamped. They're an atraumatic shear. So these come off of the design like a long time ago. Back in the 70s and 80s when I was a paramedic, we didn't have shears. We just didn't have them. They just weren't there. People used to carry little dressing scissors and stuff like that. Now, dressing scissors are traumatic. They've got sharp, pointy ends, which aren't really good. The shape of these really is so you can actually go down. We use them in the plaster clinics, really. You could go down underneath the plaster or underneath the dressings, and you could cut. As it's got such a blunt end, it's atraumatic. Atraumatic means it's non-traumatic. This little bit here, it's really good for opening cardboard boxes. Do like this. It's not sharp, but it helps you guide through. It's that blunt end that helps you guide you through underneath the dressing, so you can snip them. It's got a serrated edge. Really simple. Really cheap. Okay, but if you're losing them all the time, or if in an environment where you think they're going to get lost or stolen or bloody, let's face it, BSI, you get this stuff covered in blood, then you either have to go to autoclave it these days with Hep B, Hep C, CJD. Then you've got to autoclave them or disinfect them chemically, otherwise you're going to have to throw them away, in which case it's probably a sound bet. $3 for a pair of shears, and then if they get bloody and dirty you can just throw them away. But the quality is really suspect. They get really loose. As you can see, this is really loose. You get what you pay for, don't you? So that's your basic $3, $5 from eBay, plastic handled trauma shears. Just remember they're atraumatic because they've got the blunt end on it, and they're meant to be dressing shears so you can actually go underneath dressings. That being said, that the clever people at Leatherman invented what's called the Raptor. So the other thing about these is, where do you stick them? Well, in a kind of way. Where do you keep them? Like, you know, people have got fancy chest rigs these days because they think they're just coming out of Afghanistan or something like that. You're on the streets of wherever you're on the streets of as a paramedic. Like, you know, you've got little holsters that look really kind of ginchy, or people put them in pockets and they fall out or they drop off, and when you bend over you stab yourself. People used to tuck them in their bands or the waist belts, just like their backup weapon. They're fairly light, but you know, where you keep them is up to you. Quite often people have these little nursey holsters, but the Raptor, the Leatherman Raptor, comes with its own holster. Rotational clip which goes on your belt. It's a belt loop. You can either snap it in or you can slide it in. Okay, made from nice, tough, rigid plastic. Believe me, this has been around the traps a little bit, and it's still in really good condition. It's never come off my belt. Just got a little screw here. This can just be loosened, and you can change the orientation as to where, if you like it horizontally or if you like it vertically. Depends on the shape of your body. Depends where you keep your shears on the side. It's not quite a quick draw, it's not a weapon, is it? You know, all these people, quick draw contests, like, behave yourself. It's got a little clip, keeps it in place, so it is quite firmly in here. Packs away really compact here. Look, just 2 little clicks and bang. Exactly the same design, you know, exactly the same design as these trauma shears. They're flat, okay, so you can go on there, but the quality is so much better. Okay, you haven't got the little clippy thing on the side. See the difference here? Small clippy thing here. Don't quite, apart from cutting boxes and bits and pieces, that's all I use it for. You've got a good heavy gauge steel. It's got a little ruler on. Don't quite know why you want a ruler on a pair of shears. So maybe sometimes if you are measuring lacerations, if you want to record them properly, you can record it to the nth degree by millimeter. I've never been quite that anal, but it's there if you want to. Held together by a nice little hex screw. I'm pretty sure this is stainless steel. It's really good. Sharp as, like, if you can see the cutting blade on here, not only is it graduated and serrated, it's sharp as. I've cut so many garments off this. This will go through leather quite easily and quite quickly, and canvas seat belts. So let's look at the other features on here that often don't get discussed. Lanyard holder, so that's a lanyard hole. If you want to put a lanyard around here, you can. This little thing is your screen breaker, your high density screen breaker. So if you have to break into a screen, which I've done a few times on a vehicle, then that's high tensile point. Basically you can put that straight in the screen and it will shatter the screen. So that's really good to have on a tool, isn't it? Other 2 features this has got is here, it's a click through. So this here is a seatbelt cutter. So if you want to use it, okay, so it's got a clip here. You can just fold your handles down like so, clip on the other side. Okay, well, it's a Leatherman, isn't it? So it's a Leatherman, so therefore it's a multi-tool. So we can actually use it like this, which is a seatbelt cutter. So as you can see here, this is quite a razor sharp angle, and you can get this into a strap of a seatbelt, and you can shear it. I don't know why you have to, because these are really sharp scissors, but you can do. Seen a few reviews on here, and what people miss out on is this. Okay, anyone know what this is? I've seen about 6 reviews of the Leatherman, and no one goes into what this funny oblong hand hole is. Well, let's face it, it's for turning oxygen cylinders on. I worked in UK, Middle East, Australia. Okay, so standard medical oxygen cylinders or gas cylinders quite often have the standard hex rectangular key shape. Often comes with a key, and buggers below, then when you want to turn it on, you've lost the fucking key. The key is gone, in which case you can't turn your oxygen on. I never carry my oxygen turned on because it leaks, the Bodoc seal leaks, and it by the time you get to the patient, you've got like a third of a cylinder of oxygen, which doesn't do you much good at all. I always bleed my oxygen tank through and then shut them off until I use them. Literally just a quick turn of the key turns the cylinder on. So this little baby here, this little hole here, is to insert into the end of a cylinder to turn the cylinder on. Beautiful. And it locks, so this is a locking gadget, and you've got a lock down here, which is you just push it in, slide it back quite easily, open it back up again, click 1, click 2, and then you've got your shears. I would go for these every time. They're expensive, they're about $100. I think they're coming out with a new version which I haven't seen yet, but if you're a professional and you need good tools, then I'd go for this every single time. This won't let you down. I've had this for about 8 years now, and I've used it constantly. It's really good. The other thing here, I've never tried this function before, but it's got a ring cutter. Okay, so you look in here. Okay, that's a ring cutter, so you can actually get this inside someone's ring, and you're using a full fulcrum of force, and it's got a serrated edge there, so you can cut most rings. Most dress rings are gold or silver, so they're a fairly soft metal. Okay, good luck to you. Now, it won't do hardened bolts, but like I said, most good quality. Obviously you've got to get consent for that. I've only cut jewellery off in the operating theatre, and once or twice when someone's got a digit injury and it's about to swell up, I've cut a ring off, and normally we have to, well, you can slide it off. I mean, there's ways, there's tricks of the trade. You can slide it off if you catch it quite early enough. The ring should come off. Some elderly people have had their rings on for a long time, so in which case, yeah, having a nice little ring cutter in there, perfect. So this one set of tools, this one shears, has got what, about 7 different purposes, whereas this is just your cheap plastic variety, or your cheap tinny variety. I'd go for your Raptor every single time. So excellent, hope you like that. If you like what we're doing, like and share and subscribe to our channel, and just watch some more. I'm going to be doing some more med kits. Let's face it, it's my background. I can talk about medical kits till it's coming home, so that's all good. I'm happy to do that. I've got loads of experience. I've used most of the kit out there. I like a lot of it, I don't like some of it. I'm quite happy to give you my honest opinions. So everyone, thanks very much for watching me, thanks very much for liking me and subscribing to our channel. For all those people that have done so far, it's excellent, thank you. And till the next show, let's go.